Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man the Strongest video, and things are going to start to get extremely dicey now in reference to the UR characters coming. I wanted to specifically focus on the next three banners. As I had spoken about previously, TT was not recommended, especially if you're free to play, and you'll find out why soon enough. Sonic, great character, hands down, but again, if you really have to budget, being a free to play player, you've got to take things into consideration or a light spender. So now we're going to start to see a change, a push moving forward, and we're going to get two very good characters and a core character, which is going to be problematic in planning out what you want to do. The first character up is going to be G4, who is a very good unit, and let's talk about that one first. Its skill kit, the basic, deals damage to a single target with 2 consecutive strikes for 120% attack and has a 100% chance to shatter the target for 2 rounds, which is actually nice because if you get stuck in a energy problem, at least you got that shatter. So for basic attacks, it's a little better than most. The ultimate for this character, attack enemies in the entire column with 3 consecutive strikes for 420% attack damage. Each hit has a 100% chance to apply 1 layer of specialized burn, deals continuous damage for 150% attack, and will disappear after 3 times after any enemy takes action, and will spread to others that does not have this effect. So of course this will work great with UR Sonic. Then we have the passive. At the start of battle, grants 50% DOT damage increase to all allies that lasts up to 4 rounds. After specialized burn and detonate causes damage to enemies, G4 and his same row allies will recover 40% of damage dealt as specialized guard. Absolutely stellar passive there. Then we have the Awaken passive. At the start of battle, all enemies will be inflicted with specialized burn. This effect is unaffected by hit, deals continuous damage for 150% attack that will disappear after 3 times. After any enemy takes action, it will spread to the others, yada yada yada, we know all that. Before any character action, clears stun or specialized stun of 1 ally up to 2 times per round. Again, some stellar. Bye bye MK plus. After any character action, for every enemy that is in specialized burn state, increased 10% attack of allies can be stacked up to 3 times for 1 round. Again, absolutely stellar. Great Awaken passive for this character. As you can already probably tell, this is now a real step up. Now, in reference to this character though, what are you going to get if you invest in it? Well, the Ultra Ultimate takes your attack from 420% to 600%, which is great. Your S burn goes to 200%, so that's a 50% increase. And it's going to grant 20% non-crit damage free to all allies for 2 rounds. Whatever. Now the Extreme passive, continuous damage increases to 65%, so that's a 15% increase. And the S-Guard recovery is going to go to 50%, which is a nice 10% boost. The 5P passive is going to get that continuous damage increase now all the way to 80%, which is freaking great. I mean, just amazing. You originally are starting at 50 and can get all the way to 80 to get that 30% boost is absolutely amazing. And the S-Guard recovery now goes to 60%, so you're getting a totality of 20% increase doing everything. Now the Awaken 2 for this character, something to consider. At the start of battle, it goes for 3 rounds instead of 2. Dispel stun goes to 3 times versus 2 times. The increase to ally attack goes to 15% versus 10%, and the self-gain permanent immunity to stun and S-stun, which is just stellar. Yeah, so the character is in the perfect scenario. You want it Awakened too, and yeah, and you want to getting that KS, and yeah, so there's investment involved. That's the problem. Gearing for the character is super simple. You're just going attack percent. No big deal there. Now, sounds great though, but when you now have to think about the next two characters, I actually rank G4 3 out of those. So I would not recommend this if you have limited tickets. Next that will be coming will be Suryu, and this character is an absolute DPS beast. This is the type of character I really like. It goes with my playstyle. So what does this character do? Well, its basic deals 2 consecutive strikes to a single target, dealing 120% attack, 100% chance to inflict internal injury. So yes, we're getting internal injury back. Yay. The ultimate attacks enemies in a row with 5 consecutive strikes, dealing damage by 400% attack, triggers breakthrough, cancels specialized unyielding once per attack, 75% chance of inflicting internal injury to the main target in 3 random enemies. Super cool. Really like this character a lot, and grants himself a 400% attack of specialized guard. Very cool. Love the basic and ultimate with this character. The passive permanently grants himself 50% injury boost, grants himself 50% non-crit damage free, and it lasts for 4 rounds. After receiving fatal damage, he recovers 50% max HP once per battle. So yeah, he's got a revive mechanic. And the awaken passive with this character, after casting ultimate, launches continuous follow-up to 2 random enemies with internal injury. Yeah, freaking cool, huh? And of course that's 100% of damage, ultimate damage in effect if less than 2 enemies can follow up on the same target. And it's immune to adhesion and paralyzed. This character's kit is absolutely great for a DPS. The Ultra Ultimate with this character, if you do that, you're going to get your ultimate damage up to 600%. That's a 200% increase. Your chance of internal injury now goes to 90%, which is a 15% increase. Your internal injury damage goes to 750%, which is a 150% increase. And that self S guard goes to 600%, which is a 200% increase. The extreme passive gives you that injury boost, now goes to 65%. Your recovery after fatal damage goes to 2 times, so you're getting 2 revives. And your 5p passive, okay? Injury boost goes to 80% now, which is crazy. The self non-crit damage free goes to 60%, and the healing after fatal damage goes to 80% versus 50%. All just amazing stuff to fill this character out. Now, the Awaken 2 with this character gets even crazier. Continuous follow-up goes to 3 enemies. The follow-up, if less than 2 enemies, goes to less than 3 enemies. Additionally, after recovering from specialized unyielding, launches continuous follow-up to 2 random enemies. 80% of ultimate damage and 100% of ultimate effect if less than 2 enemies, and can follow up on same target. Just, this character is just pure DPS. And again, similar to G4, which you expect in your DPSs most of the time, it's just going to be attack percentage. This can be your carry DPS. End of story, okay? And the fact that you have that revive mechanic on there, he's gonna survive. And the fact that he's immune to adhesion, disabling effects. It's just, this character has so much to offer. And the big downside, which I feel like I repeat myself every time though, is you gotta gear him up, man. The KS is really necessary to take full advantage of this character. And like we've talked about in the past, he's a grappler, so, you know, grapplers are grapplers. We always have more of them than anything else. In my opinion, if we weren't having a core character drop, hands down, I would be recommending this character, period. The problem is, and I've always said this since day one, is you should always try to get the core characters. So let's talk about that, because following up on this, we are going to get our next core character, which is Boros, the UR version. Now this one has a lot of upsides for free-to-play players, so let's talk about that. Now the skill kit with this character is deals 150% attack to a single target and restores HP equal to 150% attack, which is nice. The ultimate attacks all targets with 5 consecutive strikes that deal 600% attack damage during the action. If the target is in unyielding or specialized unyielding state, Boros will trigger berserk damage increased by 50% when attacking. The passive on this character, after action, Boros and surrounding allies can trigger evolve, instantly removes target's damage ignoration granted by unyielding type effects, restores 300% HP of max HP before each round, lasts for 2 rounds, permanently grants self 50% non-crit damage free, damage reduction for all types of damage. The Ultra Ultimate on this character, the ult attack's going to go to 800%, which is a 200% increase. The Rampage is going to go to 100%, which is a 50% increase. And you're going to gain 30% lifesteal for 1 round before taking action, which is really nice. Extreme Passive restores HP to 350%, which is a 50% increase. And the non-crit damage free goes to 55%. The 5P Passive, the non-crit damage free, goes to 60%. And the last 2 rounds now goes to 3 rounds. Now, here's the most important part about this character, the core and what the core does. The basic core effect is 1 grappler, 2 espers, grants 3 energy points per round in the first 3 rounds. Allies gain 30% combat damage increase. The advanced core effect, which is what most people will go for, is 1 grappler, 1 duelist, 2 espers. When battle begins, grants allies permanent excess recovery. Excess HP heals are converted to HP shield to offset damage received. Cannot exceed 20 times of max HP. All allies gain 30% combat immunity. When battle begins, allies at the front row are healed by 80% of their max HP, and it lasts for 3 rounds, which is really nice. Now, something that most people won't consider is awakening this character, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But the Awaken 2 for this character, you're just getting a combat damage increase of 50%, and when allies perform follow-up, get another 1 energy. And the Awaken 3 just is the same increase to 50% for combat damage, and when allies perform follow-up, get another 1 energy per round, which is fine, but most people are not going to even bother because of the core unit, and it's not necessary. Now, gearing this character, as you can probably see, is a little bit more complex than what we talked about previously. There's a couple different builds you can go with. You can go with pure HP for that survivability with that passive, or you can go with attack to be more of that DPS with the energy refill gauge. It's going to be really what you're trying to set your team up for. There's plenty of lineups out there, but the primo lineup is going to be, what you would expect. The 3 characters I've spoken about, Sonic, you're probably going to still be using Super Ally, SSR Plus, because he's just so good. And then you're going to use some sort of revive character, either Phoenix Man or Mel's. Now, the biggest pro with core characters is less investment is really needed. So you can hypothetically pick the character up and not really go crazy with it. So the ultimate goal for most people are going to be to get the core character at a minimum, especially with Boros, because he's not going to be life-changing day 1. That's the thing. It's going to take some more pieces to the puzzle to really maximize that character. And if you've put in some time and effort in your drive night already, you're probably not going to see an improvement immediately. So you're probably going to be leaning still on your Drive Knight for some time until all the pieces of the Boros puzzle come into play, which includes You Are King, which includes some newer emblems. But at this point in time with the game, we've been told we're getting no new content, so that's a big what the F. But I have to assume that would change if this game survives. But if it doesn't survive, then it's moot anyway, because we're probably not going to get the Boros. So there you go. It's an easy call there. But I always recommend getting core characters first. In the perfect world, you would go after, in my opinion, You Are Suryu in Boros. You Are Suryu would be your deep dive, hardcore build, and your Boros you just get and then over time build it up, as most likely we will be missing too many of the pieces to make it completely effective. And of course, again, in worst case scenario, it should rotate at some time, but I am always hesitant to not encourage getting core characters if at all possible. Which really leaves G4, the odd character, out at this point, which is a shame because the G4 Suryu combo is amazing, the two of them together. But the problem is, it's really most likely for most players, free to play of course, and incredibly light spenders, that's really just not a possibility. So what, in a perfect world, you would have enough to go heavy on Suryu and just get yourself Boros so you have it and can start doing that slow build on it over time, and as more pieces come in, be able to bring that core into your teams and be able to play it. So there's my assessment. Let me know what your thoughts, what you're gonna go after. At this point in time, you know, there's so much instability in this game. It's really just a wait and see, but we do at least know what should be coming, limited banner wise, and hopefully if you've planned wisely, you'll be prepared, because this is the first big 3 hit that we have. As great as Sonic is, I put more credence on these next 3 banners and what comes after that. And so be careful, be focused, and plan what you want to do. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.